Hey guys, so I'm here to review a book for you guys, and it is Divergent. Oh my god, so I really wanted to do a book review for you guys, and I am filming at night, so I'm sorry for the crappy lighting and that bright lamp. Um, but this is my new favorite series. I think this is going to be a series, like a love, like the summer series for me. I mean, it's supposed to be a trilogy, and the third book isn't going to come out till later, but this is the first book of the Divergent series, and this is by Veronica Roth, and I've been wanting to read this since, Allison, aka Amorix, but it was Allison Blogs because that's where she does her book stuff. She talked about it and she didn't really spoil anything. She was just like kind of going over it and whatnot and the idea of the book. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to read it. And basically, it is slightly similar to Hunger Games. I've never read Hunger Games personally, but as far as I know, it is very similar in the way it's futuristic. There's some kind of battling slash war kind of thing going on. You guys will see. But this is the most amazing book I have read in a really long time. Like, it's one of those books that I think anyone can read. It's not just like, I'm always like a love, like romance comedy girl or just a romance drama girl type of book reader. But this is one of those books that I definitely recommend for everyone, guys and girls alike. Like, this is like, has everything in it. It has action, has like comedy, has like drama, has love, has all that great stuff, and it is literally, I'm gonna describe it the way this one girl described it that I saw a review of. It literally is like a roller coaster because the entire time, the beginning is very slow because it talks about, actually, you know what, right now is where I'm going to say, okay, if you guys do not want me to spoil anything, I am going to start spoiling things, so do not, and I repeat, do not, I do not want you guys to spoil this, because this book is too amazing for you guys to be spoiled. Like, you have to read it. I mean, you will get addicted once you get past, like, the first half. But before okay, let me just talk about the general review first of the summary, and then I'll go to spoilers. Basically, it doesn't really say the summary particularly. It just kind of has like reviews, and one choice decides your friends, one choice defines your beliefs, one choice determines your loyalties, one choice can transform you. Basically, this book is about a girl named Beatrice, and this, it's, it's set, it's set, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to take place in like the futuristic world a couple hundred years or so, I guess, in Chicago, and it is a dystopian or a utopian society that turns dystopian in a way because it is divided into five factions, and the five factions are abnegation, amity, candor, dauntless, and what was the other one? Amity, abnegation, candor, and erudite. Basically, abnegation is being selfless, so you're caring more about doing things for others and not so much about yourself, and not like, basically, you can't have mirrors, you're not self-indulging, you are caring more for others, you're taking care of others. And that they run like the political government kind of thing because they would think more about others than themselves. And then you have amity, which I believe is more peaceful, like they believe in peace, you know. And erudite is like very knowledgeable, they're very smart people, very intelligent. Dauntless is the very brave, they aren't cowards, they're daredevils basically. Who else? Candor is honest. Is that it? Erudite, dauntless, abnegation, amity. Yeah. So those are the five factions. And basically, the main character, Beatrice, she is born into abnegation, which is, selflessness. And every, every boy and girl, when they turn 16, they go through like this aptitude test, and they get to see their results and they can choose which faction they go to, and either they stay with their family or they choose a different one. And if they choose a different one, basically they're kind of like they're cut off from their family. It's more what they describe in the book is, it is your faction over blood. So like once you choose your faction, that's the faction you stay with. You can't have any contact, whatever. Um, but yeah, that is basically the majority of it. I'm not going to tell you anything else. So after, I'm going to start spoiling things. So I suggest if you guys haven't read this, please get out because I don't want to spoil this for you guys. Okay, hopefully by now you guys are completely out because I'm going to spoil a lot of stuff in this book. I'm not going to spoil the whole entire book, but the general ideas of it that I thought were awesome. Okay, so the beginning, like I said, is very, very slow. It just talks about, you know, her boring life, or what she considers as just not a life that she feels comfortable with all the time in her abnegation life. She feels like she's not selflessness, and she's not as selfless as she should be as her brother and her mother and stuff. So she feels guilty, and she's considered divergent when she gets her aptitude test because, you know, she's like not like she's kind of very, it's like divergent is you're kind of like in between a bunch of stuff and you choose, like it's really weird. And I think a lot of us would be divergent now, but anyway, that's that. And yeah, so she chooses Dauntless, and it's so like, let me just, oh my god. So basically, I will never join Dauntless because, the initiation ceremony, and her brother, oh my god, Caleb, I completely did not expect him to go to a different faction. I was like, the way she described her brother was like, oh my gosh, like, I want to be like him. Why can't I be like him? He's always selfless. And the fact that he's like, we got to think about ourselves and stuff. And he chooses like erudite. And I'm like, and erudite and abnegation are not that friendly with each other. They're very like against each other like all the time. So that's a crazy thing. So when she enters Dauntless and stuff, it's not like you get in, there's an initiation ceremony, and it's a crazy one because I will never ever jump off like a train or a roof or whatever, but it's like this painstaking process, and then we meet the lovely, lovely four, which I will, oh, he's my love, he's my husband. Okay. But basically she goes through this initiation ceremony, and you have to go through like all her fears, and she has to like combat, and she gets beat up, and it's just a crazy, like, oh my god, like. And four, he is so funny. And Eric, oh god, who does not like Eric? I don't, because he's a complete and total asshole. Basically, he's like, I imagine him like that very scary kid you guys sometimes see, with a lot of piercings on him, and he just looks terrifying. So that's how I imagine Eric. He's very scary and like, I would probably get chills every time I'm near him. And oh my gosh, like, I felt so bad for Al. Al is such a, like, I was like, oh my god, I imagine him like a really tough guy, and then he's a very sensitive guy, really. So you can't really judge by outward appearances and stuff. And I felt bad for his story. And when he like helped to, oh gosh, let's not talk about Molly and like Molly and Peter, they just make me want to, they're just so jealous, and I just want to punch them the entire time. And the fact that, like, Peter and, like, Al helps Peter, like, kidnap her and all that stuff, and it's just like, and I'm like, why, Al? You were my favorite, and I felt bad for you because I thought you liked her, and you kidnapped her. I'm just like, what happened? And he's like, I'm sorry, and then he killed himself. I'm like, why? I was so upset. And then, like, you get all, like, this crazy stuff with four, and oh my god, like, four. Oh, visiting day, guys, like, visiting day, like, the mom is such a sweetheart. Like, I just like the mom is like the really sweet, like, nice mom that's like, I'll always be there for you and stuff, and she's not like harsh and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, mommy. And then like she's dauntless, and I was like, dauntless, oh my gosh, she's dauntless. Like, I was freaking out, and I thought it was so cool when they got tattoos. That was awesome too, when like all of them got tattoos for different things. Like Beatrice got, which is Triss, but she got like tattoos of the crows. That was actually my favorite, not just the abnegation and the Dauntless tattoos, like the symbols, but like when she had the crows on her chest or her collarbone, that's what it was. I think it was the collarbone, like of like representing her family. I was like, oh my gosh, like she really loves her family. Like I wouldn't want to abandon my family. Like it's crazy. And I'm sorry I'm talking really fast, but I'm like, ugh. This book is like the best book ever. Like I just, Veronica Roth is like amazing. I don't know how she like thinks up of this stuff. And the fact that Tobias, which is for, which I did not even think of. I was just like, what? And like, come on, Beatrice, like seriously, Tris, you can't see that Four likes you. Four really likes you. And yes, he was a complete asshole times because he totally called her pathetic and all that stuff. And I was like, excuse me, I hate you again. And then I'm like, oh, I love you again because he's sweet and stuff. And he's like, oh, like I don't care that you're not pretty. Not that you aren't pretty, but like I was like, oh, and he's so cute and like he shows like his dreams and his fears and the simulations. Oh my god, the fear simulations are crazy. Like I literally would be scared because I would have so many fears in my mind, and the fact that it would be like active, I'd be like, I wouldn't be able to calm down so easily. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, and that part when there was a stabbing in the eye of like Edward, that was just like, whoa there, that's a little intense. And they quit. I'm like, I would totally quit if that happened, but just saying. I mean, that's a little disgusting there. And oh my god, like my favorite part was like target practice and paintball. Oh my god, that was actually one of my very favorite parts when like they were climbing up the Ferris wheel, and it was so sweet because Four was following her. It's like, I'm not leaving you alone and all that stuff, and he followed her and he's scared of heights, and I'm like, oh, he's so cute. He's like a lost little puppy, and he's so amazing, and I'm like, oh, my Four, my Tobias. My Tobias. I love him, but like seriously, and then like the end, it's just you really see that Abnegation and Erudite are really bad enemies because like the whole simulation thing goes crazy because Beatrice is now #1 for Dauntless and stuff, and that's awesome. She did well in initiation, but now all of a sudden, like right after, it's like there's a war. What the freaking hell's going on? And a huge war, you have brainwashed zombies basically killing Abnegation people. And I felt so bad when Mommy was like, I imagine Mom like being really tough, like Triss's mom, like being all like, I'm protecting you, and she died. That was like honor, bravery. That was a dauntless move there to save her daughter. And I was like, oh, and then the dad died, and I'm like, oh, I'm so upset. I was just like, oh my god. And I'm like, oh, and oh. And then Peter, oh gosh, I think Peter should just, no offense, but I think Peter should have just died. Should have totally shot him in the head. But like, oh, and then the ending, oh my god, that was like the sweetest thing ever. Like when she was like, please remember me, please, and he was completely gone. He almost killed her and stuff, and then he just completely was like, Triss, and I was like, he's back, Tobias, back. Like I was so happy. He's just back, and he's like, why didn't you like shoot me? I could have killed you. And it's like, it would have been like killing myself. I was like, ah. I was so like, I'm in love with this book, guys. Like there's so many things in this that made me like, oh, like I could not put it down. It's one of those books that you have to read like constantly, and it is quite a lengthy book, but it is so worth it. Like I did get this on Monday, but I don't have time all the time to read it, and I read most of it today, so it was awesome. And please read it. I'm going to end up getting Insurgent either today or tomorrow, either on my Nook or at least the book. Like, I'm so excited to read it, but this is an amazing book, so I'm so excited to find out what happens next because there's so many things wrong. Like Will is dead. I mean, you have Caleb still, you have Marcus, the dad, the dad, oh boy. And that was kind of a little awkward moment there. And you have Caleb left. We don't even know if Christina and Tori are alive, and I'm just like, okay, well, now that we know, Will is dead, and the parents are dead. Yeah, it's a little bit. Oh, I did like the fact that Molly is now like factionless. I'm like, she was a bitch, a real big bitch. But like, I'm so excited to really like read the next one. I'm going to probably be like addicted to this. so do not be surprised if I like make random like they need to make a movie. They make a movie. I haven't read Hunger Games, which you guys are probably gonna kill me for, but I definitely think this is even better, or at least very close to Hunger Games. That it's really great because it is the shit. And I know Hunger Games won for TCAs, but I think if anything, this is gonna win next because this is the bomb. This is an amazing book, and I haven't read Hunger Games, but this is awesome. I love it, and I probably should have guessed that she was gonna be in Dauntless because of that symbol right there. That's Dauntless symbol on the cover. The flame with the ring around it. I should have guessed that. Okay, let me do some random questions. Okay, so one of the questions I would say for aptitude test, the aptitude test was really weird. Aptitude, like, it's like the dog thing where you choose a knife or the bread. I would definitely not choose a knife. I would choose the bread, but I don't know. I guess to me, I can never be candor because I think it's impossible for me to be completely honest. I mean, who's gonna be completely honest with stuff? Like, you don't want other people to know some secrets of yours. So I was like, oh, well. And then, like, I don't know. I'm going to be like Tris, and I'm gonna be Divergent, but I wouldn't be Dauntless because Dauntless is like scary, like scary, scary. I would never even just like pass jumping off the roof or whatever. That was like, oh my god, like when they did like zip lining or whatever off that 100-story building. Uh, yeah, that's a rush right there. I don't know if I would be able to do that. I guess it's kind of like skydiving, but it's pretty like intense. That was crazy. Um, I think I would be more like Amity. I mean, I guess it could be abnegation because I like to be a selfless person, but I don't know if I could live without mirrors for the rest of my life or eat really plain food for the rest of my life. That would suck. So I don't know if I would be abnegation. I feel like I'd be amity though. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be more amity. And erudite, I would not be erudite because I'm not that smart at all. And I don't want to be like held responsible for so much knowledge. So I think I'd be more amity or abnegation. Tell me what you guys probably, if you guys read this and stuff, if you guys like know what you are. I'm going to say I'm divergent just for the hell of it. I'm divergent. I'm like Tris and Tobias. I am divergent. But this is an amazing book. I rate this out of 5 stars, like a million stars, because I loved it. I mean, the beginning is slow, but it catches up after the ceremony, basically. It's like very, like, there's little bits and pieces, and then the middle, it just gets really intense and stuff. Like, I love it. Like, I think when it gets up to, like, when they do, like, stage 2, or yeah, like, stage 2, after they do the fighting, combat kind of things, and they go into like the fear stuff, the fear simulations, that's when it got really intense because you started like the fears become real and you're just like, oh my god, shit's got real. Like, I really love this. I laughed, I cried, I really did cry. There were so many parts that actually made me cry. I was like, no. Like, when 4 was just gone, I was like, no, they did not just put that in him. They did not do that. No. And I was so mad. I was like, can we please just get a bunch of steaks and me a steak starting someone's eye out? But yeah, I love this book. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna get Insurgent because I'm too excited to wait. I'm so excited. Ah, look at it. Divergent, guys. Definitely read this book. Oh my god, best book ever. Maybe not the best book ever, but the best one I've read thus far. And it's gonna be like my summer favorite, I think. because last year I loved The Summer I Turned Pretty because I read that. So this I think is going to be my summer favorite. I'm so excited. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll talk to you guys in a later video. This is a long ass review, but yeah, let me know any books you want me to review. I'll probably end up reviewing Insurgent next though, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.